Hey, everybody. Welcome to my world right here on the Trim Radio Network, better known as trimradio.com. And we go all over the world. And that's something. I hope your week has been a good one so far. I hope it gets better. As for my world, it's been a wet one, especially in Western Ohio. I mean, it has been nothing but rain so far. And we had a little respite of it today for a few hours, and now it's going to start up all over again tonight and tomorrow and so forth. It's wet weather season, but it's better than snow. So you got to be thankful for that. Hey, before we get going here, we have to do a disclaimer. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. Take what we say with a big grain of salt and always do your own research and due diligence. We're not responsible for and expressly disclaim all liability for damages of any kind arising out of use, reference to, or reliance on any information contained in this broadcast. Any persons or characters mentioned are, for the most part, fictional or as close to it as we can get. So sit back and relax. Hey, did you bring your snacks? How about your favorite drink? Are you comfy in your chair? Because we're going to sit back and kind of chill out a little bit tonight and tell your friends about the show, okay? Because we're going to be live. And next week, we're going to have hopefully some guests on. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about data centers, but how people get activated and motivated in their community to try to seek change. So we'll get into that. Well, with that being said, we have to pay the bills. And to pay the bills, we have to do a few things. And one of the biggest things is talk about the Trim Radio Network. And we're going to do that right now. Hey, right here's the Fab Four. We've got Michael Bejas, who's the founder and CEO and overall good guy. He really is. I've known Michael for quite a while. And he's responsible for the overall vision, mission, and leadership and performance of the entire company. And then we have Rascala Stefan, the computer guru. He's the chief operating officer. He's responsible for the day-to-day operational management of the network, ensuring efficiency and quality. And boy, he is so smart at computers. He is fantastic. And then there's me. I guess I'm the chief relationship officer, whatever that is. I guess I'm supposed to make people happy. Hopefully I do. But I want to maintain the foundational trust and goodwill necessary for long-term success of the radio station. I really want to do that. And, we always say with our motto, we cut the bull and serve the truth, except on this show tonight. Usually Wednesday nights, we kind of kick back a little bit, unless we're doing interviews with people. And tonight's one of those kickback nights, so we can chill out a little bit. We do have some information I do have to pass on, so you may want to take notes or take a look at our Facebook site. Then we have Victoria Smith. She's the Chief Marketing Officer, responsible for all the marketing activities, brand development, audience growth, and creator acquisition strategies. That's a mouthful. And I'll tell you what, if you're a club, company, sorority, fraternity, if you need marketing expertise, get a hold of Victoria. She's fantastic at it. She really is. And you can check her out on her show, and her shows are every Thursday, so you want to check her out. But anyhow, that's the Fab Four. Now, our shows, we've got Money and Change every Sunday at 7 p.m., and they are live unless I am playing a concert. And I think we've got 5 or 6 concerts now scheduled for the spring, summer, and fall. So I will let you know in advance. We will be doing things called encore editions, better known as reruns. So I'll let you know about that. Also, you can check us out on our Facebook page, Money and Change / Financially Prepped. And we have videos posted during the week. We also have other information posted, and it's a good place to go. And anybody can join the group. Just let us know, okay? Then we have I'm getting tongue tied. I got to slow down. Life Walk with Christ God with Michael Bejas. Check him out Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And then we have My World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever. And that is Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then we have Victoria Smith's Natural Marketer Podcast, Thursdays. We have Offsides College Football Top 25 every Thursday at 7 p.m. We have the Positude Podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. And then we have Adventure Waits Around the Bend Saturday at 1 p.m. And at 1:30 we have Ranch It Up with Tigger and Beck. And then, of course, Saturday night we have the Red Pill Reality Show. And that's with Rascala Stefan. And he's on at 9 p.m. until midnight. Yeah, he does a 3-hour show. He talks about a lot of different things. He has a lot of different guests that come on. I've even been on the show a couple of times. And I'll tell you what, I like being on that show. It's a good show. I mean, really, he talks about a lot of stuff. And so you want to check that out. Also, we have Revelation with Peter Kling. So you want to check out our schedule with Peter Kling. Also, we have, oh yeah, my buddy, my friend, Dora. And Dora is on with her show. Let's talk about it with Dora Sherry. And we also have another space here on this page. Hopefully we have more pages with more shows. And if you want to do your show, all you have to do is contact us. And we have a red dot that used to be over here on the right-hand side. It's not here tonight. So they must be making some changes to the web page. But anyhow, you click on that and put in your phone number, name, and what you want to talk to us about, and we will get back with you. If you want to do your own show, it's very easy because we use StreamYard. I mean, if I can press buttons and use StreamYard, you can do it too. It's fairly easy to do, and the equipment necessary, it can be very minimal. And we'll walk you through the process. And the good thing of it is, we have a lot of creators that want to do their own shows. So you want to get on the bandwagon, okay? Now, here's a big thing. How do we afford all of this? Well, airtime is not cheap. Let's put it that way. So you can help us out by buying the merchandise. It's under collectibles. But we've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got mugs, we've got Money and Change t-shirts, Money and Change travel mugs with a handle. Handles come in nice. And then we also have the Money and Change ceramic mug. We've got the Offsides College Football 25 Premium Piquet shirts. And then we have t-shirts, Offsides College t-shirts, and on the second page, if you click on that and the 4 little boxes spin around, we have kitty t-shirts. We have off sides mugs. We have Rascala's Red Pill Reality Show black glossy mugs. We've got t-shirts. We've got the round mouse pad where you can't corner the mouse. And we also have the Trim Creators Dad's hat. We've got little ceramic danglies for trees, like Christmas trees or, fun ornaments. We have the Trim Creators Studio embroidered beanie. Hey, it's still cold outside, so you might want to buy a beanie from us. Also, if you have AirPods and you need to keep them in a location where you don't lose them, buy one of our rubber cases, okay? They'll protect the AirPods, and you always know where they're at because they'll be in that case, okay? Wow. Just buy the merchandise. But if you want to, you can donate to keep us on the air. You can buy the merchandise or you can advertise. And it's very easy to advertise with us. If you get a hold of Victoria Smith, you can talk to her about advertising with the Trim Radio Network. Okay? Very easy to do. Now, you support the show. Where do we go? We're all over the world because we're on the internet. I've got people that listen to me in Africa, in Myanmar, South Africa, US, Europe. I don't know if I still have a listener in Japan or not. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I do have listeners all over the world, just like our other people. And the reason why we went to the internet is because instead of going WTRM FM, we're now all over the world. And it's a very good genre for us. Fancy word. Wow, what else is going on? Oh, the Facebook page. No, Victoria Smith already called me. Thank you, Victoria. We had a nice little chat. Anyhow, we have our page here. My World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever. And right now it's a private group. We're in a testing phase right now. But if you want to be invited, you contact trimradio.com and say you want to be invited to my group, and they will forward it on to me, and I will get you into the group. Very easy to do. And what do we have on here? Oh, yeah, today's teaser. Join me for another live edition of My World, 8 p.m. And that's our artificial intelligence artwork. I tried it. I liked it, kind of, sort of. Well, I might be able to do something different. I've been seeing a lot of artificial intelligence commercials, ads, all kinds of stuff. I might try something like that a little bit later as I learn how to use it. Wow. I posted something here in the comment section, and I do want to use this time to kind of refresh your memories on what do you do in situations where we could have incidents happening. And I posted this, and we can talk about it a little bit later, but preparing for a potential conflict in 2026. And I said, keep your head on a swivel and stay frosty. In other words, stay cool, but be attentive to what's going on. And it talks about being prepared. We've always talked about being prepared, especially on money and change, being financially prepared. And, you want to be prepared for 30 to 60 days of food, water, and being able to strengthen your home security and, get neighborhood connections and talk to people, get to know people in your area. And, you want to develop a bug in or a bug out plan if you want to stay in the house or you have to leave town. Do you have a bug out bag or a bug in bag? It's basically the same thing. You have food, water, toilet paper, extra set of clothes, things like that, soap. And you have to have that stuff. And I've been hearing a lot of stuff that's going on over in Iran, and I'm listening to everything that's going on. And I'm saying, okay, it's time to be very attentive as to what's going on, because what's going on over there could create problems over here. I hope not. But just in case that it does, you have to be aware of everything going on. So you want to develop your plan in advance, and don't panic, just be cool and use your head. You have to think. And you want to know if you're going to bug out, you're going to take off, where are you going to go? Do you have a plan? Do you know the routes? Do you have maps? Do you have a vehicle that will get you there, or are you going to have to walk? A lot of things to consider before you decide to bug out or stay in. Do you have your essential medical supplies? Okay. Do you know anything about first aid? There are a lot of videos on um, YouTube about first aid, so you can check with that, and you can go on the web and check with the American Red Cross if you want. So you want to learn basic first aid skills and maintain a low profile and monitor the local reliable information and prepare utility disruption, no power, no water, no internet. And for some people, they can get by with no power, they can get by with no water because they can always find sources, but no internet. People will go crazy with no internet. And there are other things here about the key preparation steps for civilians. Okay. How to store and stockpile non-perishable food, water filters, medications, and cash, home security and shelter, so forth. And one thing people always say, well, what do I do for security? Well, about 6 years ago, somebody tried to actually break in to a storage shed that I have, and they had somehow been sitting in their truck, and I noticed them several years ago sitting in the truck, just wait like they were waiting on somebody, but they were actually casing the block. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, my window was open and it was summertime. And I heard this rustling outside the window, and I heard this voice say, "Are you ready to do this?" And the other guy said, "Yeah, let's go." I thought, "No, I'm dreaming or something." And all of a sudden, they turned the corner. The security light that I have in the back went off. Well, they took off. Well, they later came back, but they didn't go to my yard. They went to the house that's kind of behind me and off to the east. Well, it kind of woke up a husky in the house, and the neighbor thought the husky just had to use the potty outside. Well, he turned the husky out the door, and about 15, 20 minutes later, the husky came back and was whining. He wanted back in, so the man opened the door, and in comes the husky with some pants in his mouth. Well, he was protecting the property. And I got to talk with him the next day. And he says, "Yeah, I got a free pair of pants, kind of chewed up." I said, "I hate to see the rear end on the guy that got chewed by the husky." But anyhow, yeah, I had that happen. So, yeah, I had extra security lights put in, and I do have some cameras. Nothing has happened since, but I'm always prepared for things like that. And if a security light goes off in the middle of the night, um, I'll know about it. And it's just being cautious, keeping your head on a swivel, making sure your doors are locked, make sure your windows are locked. Always make sure that your car is locked. Mine is in a garage, it is locked in the garage, even. And you can't come into the house without being on camera. And that's just the way my security system's set up. Do I have a lot of valuables in here? Heck no. But having people trying to break in causes you to be very protective, and you have to know what's going on. So you want to be prepared for that. Okay. Um, you can build a go bag, which is for quick evacuation. Communications. I always talk to people about GMRS radios, and I have several different radios, but this is my Ocean 935G Plus. I've talked about it before. I can get on this thing and I can talk at least 35 miles away to a repeater and then get out 90 miles beyond that. And the other night, about 11 o'clock, I'll turn the radio on and I'll listen to see if anybody's on. And usually there's somebody in Springfield, Ohio, or Dayton, Ohio, or in some cases, I talk to people in Wilmington, Ohio, which is about 80 miles away. And on a good night, I can talk beyond that and get over to Lancaster, which is basically about 20 miles south of Columbus, Ohio, which is about Columbus is about 85 miles from here. I know I used to live there, but this radio is really good. It's not a cheap bubble wrap radio. It really isn't. You don't go to Walmart and get one of these. I got it at Buy Two Way Radios, I believe is where I got it. There are a bunch of places out there where you can get these radios. Midland makes them, Ocean makes them, Baofeng makes one. Matter of fact, I have a Baofeng Mini here that's set for GMRS radios, and I can listen to trains or whatever I want to program in this thing. This is a great little radio. Good thing to carry. Um, but communication skills. If the cell phones don't work, the cell towers are down. Hey, you've got your radios. Now, with the GMRS radio, you have to have a license, but you don't take any tests for the license. You pay $35. That's $350 a year for 10 years. Now, that's a good deal. And anybody in your immediate family can use it. So if we get into a situation where things are going on in the world that cause things to happen here, I've got enough radios that I can go to my friends and say, okay, here's a radio. We're going to be on channel 15. If you want to talk to me privately, this is how you page me on channel whatever. And if we need to get out more than where I'm located, we need to get out to Dayton, Ohio, or wherever, these are the channels to go to. And I can circulate the radios out to family members and say, okay, this is how we're doing it. And we'll stay in touch. So little things like that, but they're great radios. Okay. And you can listen to Not a Rubicon on YouTube. He's a little eccentric, but I'll tell you what, he talks about GMRS radios and communication and so forth. Randy's a great guy. So you have to listen to his show, Not a Rubicon. Wow, what else is going on? We talked about communications, go bags, situation awareness. Be aware of what's going on. One thing that I don't really advertise, but this radio is what I call the brick. It is a very heavy radio, and I can listen to all the police channels, emergency channels, and everything around here. This is a Harris Unity XG100. It's very good. It's very expensive. It's very robust, and the battery in it will last 16 hours of talk time. And I'll tell you what, it comes in handy sometimes. And with the Baofeng, the Mini, I can listen to NOAA weather and other places. So it comes in handy. And not that I'm a prepper, but in case of problems, I want to know what's going on. Okay. Cyber warfare, prepare for sudden extended power and internet outages, and be prepared for supply chain collapses. And just in case you have reports of civil unrest in the big cities, keep your head on a swivel and stay frosty. And that's my advice for what's going on right now. You never know what's going to happen, okay? So enough of that. That's my educational piece tonight. And in case you wondered where I got it, guess what? It's AI from Google, and here it is. You can see it on the screen. It's right there. And it's good commonplace things to know. Hey, have you ever wondered about what's your sign? Zodiac? Have you ever heard of void course of moon? Yeah, void course of moon. I didn't know that existed until my friend Bilbo Shears from 700 Radio, which is WLW in Cincinnati. Bill was telling me about the blood moon and void course of moon and everything. And I said, "You're kidding. That actually happens?" He said, "Yeah. Some days things go really well. They're fantastic. Some days, pure hooey. Okay. Everything goes wrong. Then all of a sudden it lightens up and everything's good. Well, that's void course of moon." I said, "You're kidding." He says, "No." And he got me to several different sites. And he said, for zodiac, astrology. And so do I really believe in astrology? I used to read it in the paper in the morning before I went to school. And some days the horoscope would say it's a fantastic day, and it was. And some days I would read it and you will be tested. Well, I walked to school and I went to my second class and I got a test. And sure enough, later on, about the fifth period of school, I had another test. So it was kind of dead on accurate. Okay. That was I guess, my void course of moon. And I was looking in Yahoo today and they had the four zodiac signs caught in the blood moon eclipse's spotlight. And I don't know how many were supposed to have, three blood moons in a row or something like that. And it said on March 3rd, a powerful blood moon lunar eclipse closes the first eclipse portal of 2026. And the emotional intensity is very real. If the past few weeks have felt chaotic, reflective, or oddly nostalgic, you're not imagining it. With Mercury retrograde in the mix, old conversations, past relationships, and unfinished emotional businesses have likely resurfaced. This energy isn't about karmic punishment or dramatic fate. It's about reflection. It's about seeing clearly what has a hold on you and deciding what you're actually ready to release as this portal closes. Maybe that's why I have dreams of me being back in high school and taking tests and going to classes. Or maybe about going to different colleges and universities and things that have happened. Or maybe working with people in Cincinnati when I was working in the Inquirer building and getting to meet different people. Some of the people that I had the chance to meet was I had Pete Rose was one of them. And then I got to meet different politicians, and one of the guys that I knew from Hamilton County politics ended up being governor of the state of Ohio. And I was at a meeting at State House when I had gotten a promotion and moved to Columbus. And I was in the Rife Tower, named after Vern Rife, who was, I believe, Speaker of the House. And I was waiting on an elevator ride, and I had a visually impaired person with me. And the door of the elevator finally opened up, and out comes Governor Taft. And I had known Bob Taft from Cincinnati because he was in the Hamilton County politics. And he comes out of the elevator, he looks at me and says, "Hey, I know you." And I said, "Hey, I know you too, but I'm late for a meeting. See you." Get in the elevator, and we're going up to the 30th floor for the meeting. And the visually impaired guy says, "Who was that?" I said, "Bob Taft." He said, "You know the governor?" "Yeah." I said, "I know Joe Dieters too, he's Supreme Court Justice for the state of Ohio." And it just goes back with all the connections that I had in Cincinnati when I was there. And you run into different people and you think of this stuff later on. Maybe that's why I get to bed probably about midnight and wake up at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning for some weird reason. But maybe it's the blood moon. I don't know. But, let's look at the void course of moon. Now, this thing is the calendar for 2026. And yes, there is a calendar, and there are people that figure it out. Is it accurate? Who knows? But you can wait and see what happens. Now, January's already passed, but you can take a look at your sign that your moon enters after a void, and the void when it begins and when it ends. Now, the void means there's going to be a problem. So if you take a look at, let's see, today is the 4th of March. So we'll go to the 4th of March, and here it is. And it begins for the 4th of March at 9:53 a.m. on March 4th, tomorrow, no, today. And it ends at 1:56 p.m. for anybody that's a Libra. Now, tomorrow is Scorpio. So if your sign's a Scorpio, and at 6:22 p.m. to 11:01 p.m., you might have some problems. And it goes on down through. For each sign, there is a day and a time when these void course of moons happen. Now, you can go to the page and you can download the link because it's there. I thought I would put it there. But my friend Bilbo Shears was telling me that these are actually accurate. And if you take a look at them, they're fantastic. Now, I haven't talked to Bill in probably 10 years, maybe 8 years. And he used to do a late night show on WLW radio, which went probably over half the United States. And he would talk about things, and his show was called The Sci Zone, Scizone. And occasionally I would have lunch with Bill, and we would go to an Olive Garden, and we'd be talking about different things. And it was amazing to listen to him. And he was a character. I really liked the guy. And I don't know if he's still with us, living or not. And maybe one of these days I'll get to talk to him again. Very interesting person about WLW radio. So here we have the void beginning for April. Now, for me, since I'm an Aries, I have to watch out for April 15th from 9:07 to 10:04 a.m. So I have to behave myself and watch what I'm doing on April 15th. After that, hey, I'm good. And for those of you that are Tauruses, better known as the bull, April 17th is your day from 7:52 in the morning until 11:58 in the morning. So you just have to be careful during those times. Well, this void course of moon, you can see here, it goes every month, date and time. So you want to check that out. Let's see what's going to happen around Christmas time. Let's see here what we've got. Well, Leo, Christmas Eve, watch out. 7:09 p.m. to 4:12 p.m. That's on the 25th. So from the 24th to the 25th, you got a problem. Maybe it's called Christmas. And I'm December 17th from 12:43 a.m. to 9:34 a.m. Wow, in the middle of the night to 9:34 in the morning. Whoa. I wonder, hey, if I knew when the homecoming would be at Ohio University, I could find out the good and the bad and the ugly for that. And I'm thinking it's around September 26th, 27th. Uh-oh. Aries, the 26th. 4:32 in the morning to 6:23 in the morning. Am I going to lose sleep? I don't know. Hopefully, that's not the day that we have to go to Athens, Ohio for 3 days, because that's homecoming, and that is a fun time for me. I missed it last year due to food poisoning that I picked up from a restaurant. I went back to that restaurant. I told them, I said, "You guys cost me $1,500." And they said, "You're kidding me." I said, "No, 1,500 bucks." Because I had food poisoning for 3 days and all my stuff was non-refundable. I put the guilt on them. So anyhow, that's the Void Course of Moon.
Sean,
oh no, what's going on there? Ah, it advanced. It wasn't supposed to be on that page. Well, son of a gun. Well, what else is going on? Oh yeah, I zapped a page. Well, it looks like we're going to be listening to Grandpa here. Let's see if I can get him going. Listen to this.
Paw was looking for 8 hours of peace and quiet. He wanted to drift off into the land of Nod, but he grabbed the wrong bottle from the nightstand. Now the only thing nodding is the neighbors in disbelief. Hit it, boy! He brushed his 3 teeth and he put on his cap. He was ready and raring for a long winter's nap. The lights were all dimmed and the house was all still when he reached for his bottle of sleep-tied fill. But the labels were faded and his glasses were thick, and he swallowed a tablet that did quite a trick. He waited for slumber to enter his head, but a different kind of feeling started rising instead. Hey, Grandpa, Mr. Bite before sleeping pill. He's got the mountain of energy and a whole lot of thrills. The sheets are hoisting like a sail on a boat. He's doing the wobble in his Sunday night coat. He can't hit the hay, he can't close an eye. He's pointing his toes at the northeastern sky. Now, Paw.
Yeah, I saw that one today. I laughed so hard. I sent that to I don't know how many friends. I'll tell you what, this is artificial intelligence. I don't know how they do it, but that was done by artificial intelligence. Can you believe that? Wow. Hey, I've got something for you. Remember, I always talk about the University of Findlay? I always talk about them, and you say, well, gee, I've never seen the campus or anything lately. And I said, well, let's just see if I can find one of their latest releases. So here it is. Let's see if I can get it going.
The right higher education choice can be transformative, igniting students' imaginations and empowering them to find their voice while preparing them for success in their careers and lives. Established in 1882 and located in Ohio just 90 minutes from Columbus and Detroit, the University of Findlay delivers experiential learning, integrates the arts and sciences and faith and reason to equip graduates to be the innovative problem solvers and ethical leaders on life and the workforce.
Our mission is to equip students for meaningful lives and productive careers. We take both aspects seriously. At University of Findlay, students get attention from administrative staff at every level, and most important perhaps, from their faculty members. We treat students as individuals. We try to get to know them, to understand not only what their career goals are, but what their source of meaning and joy is, because each student matters, and we believe to teach a student well, a professor or a mentor from any facet of the university needs to know the student.
A University of Findlay education is the embodiment of learning by doing. In addition to our science, health professions, animal science, and equestrian studies programs, we're also cultivating the next generation of business leaders, educators, and innovative thinkers. We believe a true education is transformational, not transactional. More than courses or credentials, a Findlay education nurtures character, sharpens intellect, and inspires purpose.
Our approach to education here has similarities to every university, but we also have some differences, and that is our determination to make sure that students have hands-on experience, to give them opportunities to learn by doing. We have a large health professions college, and of course, those students are going to work with patients as they complete their degrees. We bring an education to life here, not simply by lecture and memorization, but by actual experience.
We have 3 programs of study in the equestrian department. We have the equestrian studies with a Western training emphasis, equestrian studies with an English training emphasis, and equine business management. We're nationally recognized for our equestrian studies programs because of our focus on riding and training horses. Our students spend an extraordinary amount of time in the saddle. They're in riding classes that meet 5 days a week for 3 to 4 hours a day, and many of our students ride multiple horses during that time. Class time involves group instruction, riding demonstrations, and also barn work. Between the 2 horse farms, we can house up to 450 horses, and the university owns around 200 horses. Most of our students do complete a double major while they're here. The most common double majors within our department between equestrian studies and equine business management. But students also sometimes choose to double major outside of our department. And we encourage that. We try to support that as best as we can because we believe that if our students can find their path at our university, we will do whatever we can to help support them in that direction.
Whatever your passion, a University of Findlay education will help you develop the knowledge, skills, and experience you'll need to ensure future success. You can choose from over 85 undergraduate majors or forge your own path. Students leave UF with strong academic preparation and the values, skills, and experiences to thrive as ethical leaders and compassionate professionals.
UF prepared me in many ways for a meaningful life and a productive career. Primarily, the ways that I think of are access to unique classes that were specific to what I was interested in. The program itself, being customizable, was probably the most impactful piece of the education that I had here at Findlay. Through those classes, I was able to find out what I was passionate about, what I was interested in, what I was good at. And that landed me a job, and a job that frankly I enjoy, I love, I feel good at. Findlay has developed me for life and provided me the foundation for a life well lived.
The University of Findlay is committed to preparing students for whatever career or careers they may find suitable to their calling and the world's needs. But also, those students should learn from us the joy of experience and adventure and attaining or creating knowledge yet to be discovered. I can't think of anything more exciting than to be a student at the University of Findlay. We care about you as a person. We work every day to make it affordable for our students. Our students leave prepared for work and life, and they leave with a manageable level of debt.
Teaching key ideas, skills, and concepts that can be applied to the workforce leads to results, both inside and outside the classroom. Learn more today about the University of Findlay, equipping students for meaningful lives and productive careers. For course information or to schedule a visit, go to findlay.edu or call 419-434-4732.
And that's the University of Findlay. That's the latest release that they have. Oh, hey, we talked about sports in the past. The University of Findlay's women's basketball team and the men's basketball team are now going to their district tournaments. They have some reasonable basketball teams there. But I also have to give a big shout out to Miami University because they are 30-0. They haven't lost a game yet in the Mid-American. And that's a big pat on the back for Miami University basketball. However, I don't think they're going to get to 36-0 like the University of Findlay did back in 2009 because they won the national championship for NCAA Division II. And my dad and I went to several of those games at the University of Findlay. And we had a great time. And I'll tell you what, they had a fantastic team that could shoot three-pointers like you wouldn't believe. And I would say they're a bunch of farm kids that knew how to play basketball because they beat Ohio State. They beat, I believe it was Xavier University and also Bowling Green State University. And from there, it was just fun and games. And I even got to witness one game where they had 40 points at the half. And they went on to win by 30. The coach said, slow it down a little bit. Well, anyhow, here's that team.
Want to try to prevent the ball from going towards the goal. Evans has got to put it up. The three-point sharpshooter, yes, for the NCAA Division II title. The senior from Circleville brings the 36-0 championship to Finley. His first field goal of the day.
And believe it or not, we happen to have a portable TV in the car. It was battery operated. And my dad was watching it as I was driving, and we came to an intersection going home, and we were out in the boondocks, basically. And they won the national championship. We almost wrecked the car. I mean, it was something to see that team be that successful, and they beat Cal Poly for that game and for the national championship. And to see some of the people that went to the University of Findlay go on to play professional basketball. Yeah, it's interesting. So it's a good sports school. You have to check them out, but it's very good academically. And Dr. Kathy Fell, she's leaving at the end of this year. And I'll tell you what, she's done a fantastic job. I wish her well in retirement. And rumor has it she's going to go back down to Texas. Well, it's warmer down there. It beats cold winter in Findlay. What else do we have going on? Well, let's see. Well, I had the Wrinkle City Gazette up, but I don't think we have a lot of time to talk about it. However, this goes back several years. I finally had to stop writing the Wrinkle City Gazette. But you can see, here it is, wrinkle-city-gazette.weebly.com. And I used to take pictures and create stories about things going on locally. And I used to have a little fun with it. And believe it or not, we're talking about St. Patty's Day and everything that's going on. And the mayor, who was Alton J. Suey, was something else. Well, anyhow, and we talked a little bit the Green Hat Society and the nuns with guns cleaning up Wrinkle City because Chief Barney One Bullet McGinty and his officers had been attending a police conference in Las Vegas. Yeah. And so the nuns came in and cleaned up the town. Anyhow, Wrinkle City manager declares war on potholes. Yes, potholes. Hey, Ohio has a lot of potholes. Indiana has a lot of potholes. Michigan, around East Lansing, the potholes were terrific. I think you could lose a semi in them. And then, of course, here in town, we had a planter in the center of the street, looked like a leg lamp, whatever. And increase in taxes. And, of course, the Sister Mary Elephant with her Holy Moses baseball bat. She'd go into a bar and clean that one up. Just all kinds of things that I would write. The bimbos, yeah, laughing at the law, tales from the 19th hole, scapegoat basketball, the local high school team, and a bunch of funny stuff. Check it out. Okay. Wrinkle-city-gazette. Weebly, weebly.com. Wow, what else is going on? Oh, Vicki, I've talked to you. I've talked to you. Well, so much for that page. What else is going on? You mean no, it can't be. It is. Oh my God, I had some stuff planned. I lost one. I had some stuff here. Let's see if I can get to it here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, Emma. I had a good thing about Emma. Let's see here. Where is Emma? Somehow this advances and it takes out what I need to find. I'll be darned. Well, anyhow, all kinds of stuff. I get all kinds of stuff on here. I had a thing with Emma, and I had it up here. Oh no, these are all artificially done. I'm not even going to play the sound. You can imagine what the sound would be like. What else? Where is Emma? I had Emma on here, and Emma's not. Well, what do we have? Wait a minute. A fight broke out at the Waffle House. Let's listen to this one and see what they got. I haven't heard this one before. It'll be a first.
One night round 203, ain't no place open but that old WH. A cook was humming, grill still popping, then a drunk guy yelled, "These eggs ain't hopping." Waitress sighed, "You best sit down," but the man stood up and threw his hash browns. A fight broke out at the Waffle House, bacon flew and folks got down. Waffle batter on the ceiling fan, somebody's shoe hit the ketchup stand. Police walked in and looked around, said, "Don't see nothing, just this town." A fight broke out at the Waffle House. One guy swung with a sausage link, another blocked it with a plate of grits. I think a lady screamed out the coffee pot, but it was airborne. Ready or not, the 2-5 plate Sweet Caroline, while two grown men wrestled over dime. A fight broke out at the Waffle House. Eggs were flying, someone shouted out, "Sir, tripping from the neon sign." And the cook kept flipping like, "Y'all fine." When the brawl was done and things calmed down, it looked the same as every round, 'cause a fight broke out at the Waffle House.
At the Waffle House. Hey, somebody asked me a question one time. They said, "What has one tooth, 6 eyes, and flies?" And I thought, one tooth, 6 eyes, and flies. I said, "I give up. What was it?" And they said, "Oh, it was the night crew at Waffle House." Yeah. Okay, let's see what else is going on.
An 85-year-old man was requested by his doctor for a sperm count as part of his physical exam. The doctor
no. I didn't know they would do stuff like that.
Back to you for the last time.
Oh, no.
From my deathbed.
Ray Stevens.
Oh, dear mother.
Oh, my God.
My health is gone. I'm fading fast, and I fear I'll not recover. I've lost 100 pounds. My hair, my sight, and this illness had its nexus the day I judged the red hot chili cook-off in Jalapeno, Texas. Now, as you know, in Tennessee, you fed us normal things like Tabasco seasoned barbecue and spicy chicken wings. But I've got a friend down here in Texas who's a chili cook-off judge. And on the day of the statewide cook-off, he lay sick and could not budge. "I'm sicker than a dog," he said. "You'll have to take my place. All you do is pick the chili you like after giving them all a taste." So, of course, I did what I had to do to help out my old friend. But that decision ruined my life and brought me to this sorry end. Do not eat Texas chili, or you will surely die. Don't even mention Texas chili to me. I will tell you why. Just the thought will fire up memories that will wreck my solar plexus. On the day I judged the red hot chili cook-off in Jalapeno, Texas. They led me to the judge's stand and sat me in my place. Put 3 bowls of chili in front of me, just to sample, just to taste. Number one was dragon's breath, and it had such a nice aroma. I took a big old bite that nearly slipped into a coma. Oh, sweet Lord, what is this stuff? My uvula's on fire. My ears are ringing and my nose is running and my feet are starting to perspire. Then number two was called flamethrower, and it was not this thing. One taste, my eyes, ears, nose, and throat all shot out long blue flames. Help somebody! Call 911! I don't think I can breathe. I can't seem to catch my breath. All I can do is squeeze. Then I heard somebody screaming uncontrollably. I turned to see who it was, and Lord, I said it was me. The one that was simply Charlie's chili sounded innocent enough, but it knocked me backwards off the stand with one taste of the stuff. I got up running, looking for a doctor or an ice cold bottle of water. I downed a keg of beer and 6 snow cones, and it only made me hotter. It's been a year now, and I can only sip a smoothie now and then. If I try some solid food, the flames flare up again. I'm galled and burned and blistered from my mouth down to my colon. What little skin that's left in all is inflamed and badly swollen. So I write to you, dear mother, just to say goodbye and to warn you and the family of one thing before I die. Do not eat Texas chili, it'll put you in the ground. And even if you should survive, you won't be able to sit down. Do not eat Texas chili, mama, you will surely die. Don't even mention Texas chili to me, I will tell you why.
I'll tell you why. That was the one I was going to show you. Well, anyhow, we'll do that maybe next week for a little fun. Wow. What a night. Well, anyhow, guys, that's all I have. Don't eat Texas chili. Of course, I know somebody that uses half a bottle of hot sauce in his chili. But have a good week. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of what's going on around you. Prep up a little food, water, and keep your radios with batteries and keep them all charged. Okay? Get yourself a GMRS radio. They're not that expensive, and I'll tell you why. They're great, and you can have some fun with it. With that, guys, that's all I've got. It's time to bail out of here. Have a good week. We'll see you Sunday with Money and Change at 7 p.m. And then again the following Wednesday with My World. And hopefully we'll get some guys from Sydney, Ohio, and they'll be talking about data centers. We had fun tonight. Let's continue to have a little bit of fun. Okay? See ya. Have a good week.